My group went to Brahm Prasad village and the school first. When I first went in, I was kind of surprised because the students there were provided paper to write with and toys to play with, and they even have a fan in their classroom. I was surprised because I thought they didn't have these things to study with. There are many kinds of farm animals in Korat, and most of these farm animals would be the farm animals you would see in a normal farm somewhere else, like dogs, chickens, and sheep, and pigs. They make a house using the materials they have for the animals they own inside the farm. Like for example, the house that this cow lives in is made out of wood. In the village, I saw many things that were reused. Like for example, in this picture, clearly we can see that they are using the motorcycle seats as cushions for their chairs. Well, in the city, we would throw it away and we would buy a sofa or another cushion instead. And in this picture, we can see that they keep their things they don't use wisely and they store it somewhere so they can use it later. But in the city, most people just throw it in the junkyard and then usually never use it ever again. Many people in Korat make their food by hand. And it's different in the city because in the city of Bangkok, many people actually make their foods using machines like ovens. I think that using machines to make food is faster than making it by hand. So therefore, the people in the city can make more food in less time. And it could also be more effective because they're using machines to make it. So our quality of life is better than theirs. In the village of Korat, I saw the children have many toys like we do. Like for example, this truck. But in the village of Korat, I also saw that many of the toys they have were lying on the floor and looked like they have been abandoned. So I wonder if they just throw it away after they use it. And they also have traditional toys like this one. And when we were younger, my parents usually bought us some baskets to put toys in. And I don't think they have it. So therefore the quality of life is not as good as ours. At first I was kind of surprised because some people have modern transportation like cars and motorcycles. But I only saw a few people that have it and most people didn't have these modern transportations and they only did was walk. But in Bangkok, many people have cars and usually we have problems with traffic in Bangkok and it is so horrible that sometimes it will take 4 times longer to get to a destination. So therefore, we are still richer than them in transportation. I can clearly see that the labor they have in Korat is very different from the labor we have in Bangkok. Like for example, in this picture, we see this woman working at her desk in her home. But in Bangkok, most people have to go to a company to work. And in this picture, we see this old lady carrying water for her family so they can use it. And most people, they get a lot of rest after they do their work. But in Bangkok, many people have to do non-stop work, like in a company. So I would say in basic form that we have a better quality of life than them in labor. But they are also very lucky because they have a lot of time to rest and we do not. Although my group didn't go to the pottery village in Bamprasha village, I also saw many things that were crafted. Like for example this. I think this is something to hold water or rice or some kind of food with. And they usually use wood and some other materials to craft the things they need. But most of them craft everything they need by hand. And in Bangkok, usually everything we craft is by some machine and some companies. And I think that by using the machine, we can craft these things faster than doing it by hand. But in the village of Korat, most people craft it by hand because they don't have machines to help them craft these products. But the things are improving because they're getting some machines to actually craft these things with. But still, right now, in quality of life, we are still better than them in crafting because we can do it more faster. When I went to the Grand Prasad village, I saw many houses, but most of the houses were very short and not very big. Many of the houses has flags in front of them, like this one. In Bangkok, we have a lot of big houses like Central Plaza, but they don't have it. They also have very similar traditions with the people living in Bangkok. Like for example, they put Buddha statues in front of their houses, like this one. There's the picture of the biggest house in Korat. It may not seem very big, but it is the biggest one they have. Also, they have spirit houses in their yards, and it is the very same with the people living in Bangkok, except that they probably make most of the spirit houses by hand, and most of the Thailanders living in Bangkok will probably just buy from a local market or store. A very similar thing they have is that they respect the king a lot because the king have done very good things to many parts of Thailand. And I saw many pictures of the king in the stores and local markets and houses. Like this one. This one I took a picture of them in the store. Since they make most of the things by hand, they still have high quality life. Many people in the rice institution grow rice by hand. And also in the rice institution, we saw how they grow rice and we learned the different ways of growing rice. But in Thailand, most of the land is pretty flat, so they can plant the rice directly into the puddles of water. And I can see that they have to plant a lot of rice at the same time because the rice need a very long time to grow, and we must be able to feed our population. And if we grow a little bit at one time, there might not be enough rice to feed our population. And most of the rice is grown by hand and put into the water by hand. Well, in some places in America, they would probably use some kind of machines to put the rice in. So I can say that in other places the quality of life is better than here because they have machines to help so they can do it faster, and they have to do it by hand, so they have to use more time and they cannot do it so fast.